I'm Tonda. This is Blueprints, game I've been making for the last 8 years.
8 years? Okay, so Tondo, what is this game all about?
The game is kind of a architectural adventure. It's a sort of genre-defying mix of both strategy, puzzle, and mystery. So it kind of interweaves those things in kind of a creative way. It's got a lot of inspiration from board games that's kind of apparent the more you play.
So 8 years, I have to hear about this process. So obviously passion project in your spare time, turned full-time, hopefully?
Full-time.
Full-time 8 years.
Full-time 8 years, yeah. It started out, I guess, first 3 months were kind of like, started as a hobby, but kind of I finished the first sort of demo in 3 months. And based on the feedback I had, I knew I was onto something special. So it's certainly not going to be apparent to people playing it, like the time, until you keep playing it, and then you're like, okay, there's a lot of depth here.
Much like any complex tabletop game.
Yes, exactly. Where it starts out with basic sort of mechanics that you might be familiar from sort of tabletop and Euro games specifically. And so the game's kind of based on the concept of drafting, so card drafting. But in our case, we kind of spun it as architectural drafting. So it's kind of a play on that mechanic in both senses of drafting. So kind of like games like Sushi Go, Magic the Gathering, Agricola, these resources games that kind of, you're given a choice between a couple cards and you choose one.
The market, yeah.
Yeah, in this case, every door in the house is a choice between 3 different rooms. And at its core, that is what the game is do you want a hallway for more doors, or do you want a closet to get some cool items that might help you sort of further your exploration into the house?
So how big is your team?
The team, it's 2 people at its core, but throughout the years we expanded and contracted as things kind of necessitated, expansion. Once our art director came on, that's kind of when we hired additional modelers and things, and the team kind of expanded beyond me. But at its core, all the design is a small group of like 4 people or so.
Could you take Blueprints and actually turn it into a tabletop game? At one point, was it a tabletop game idea?
It was. At the very, very beginning, it started out as a sort of board game, but sort of as it progressed and the more and more story elements got involved, then it'd be hard to translate all of it. You could take the core mechanics into a board game, but it wouldn't, capture all of the nuances and of the mechanics.
That's why it's important it's a video game and not a tabletop game.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest challenge for you personally when designing this game and creating it?
Just the time it took. It's very easy after 8 years to give up. So there was a lot of times during it where it was like, when you're looking at the road ahead and you're like, that's a long road. So I think the biggest challenge was just, being able to ride the bull the whole way.
Do you have a release date for the game and potential platforms?
No.
Not yet. When it's done.
Yes. When we'll be announcing that down the road.
In the meantime, do you have like a place people can go to find out more information? Steam page, Discord, Facebook?
There'll be the Steam page once it's officially announced.
Okay, so it's still your baby. You're still taking care of it.
Yeah.